Hello everyone, I am Rashid Khan from Lakshmi Prasad Memorial Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur, class 7. Now here we will have to go through the chapter number 10, that is transportation in animal and plants. So some of the portion we have already finished. Now look out the next one, that is I have explained about that the kidneys, that is the excretory system of our body. So related to that, here is structure of kidneys and their functions which we have to discuss. Kidney, and this is of this is the structure of kidney, that is called as left kidney and right kidney. This is ureter, that is urine bladder, and that one is called as urethra. We know very well that is urethra, urinary bladder. These are, here is adrenal glands. This is dorsal aorta and inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. The renal veins. That is the renal arteries. Renal arteries. These are the structure of kidneys on which we have to study about. Here is another structure on which we have to discuss. First, you can say there is a kidney in which there are number of nephrons are there. So first of all, we will discuss on nephrons. How the filtrations are. Here you can see this is called Bowman capsule. Bowman capsules. This one is known as efferent arterioles, and that one is afferent arterioles. Here is a blood get control and move up to the loop-like structure. This loop is called as Never's loop. It is U-like structure in which there is a loop which is may absorb and reabsorbs the materials which is separated. There is a blood very filter. This is the blood and it is get filtered by the filtering unit. Filtration of blood takes place. The rest of the amount will have to be moved through these Henle loops. These Henle loops having most of the absorbing capabilities. So there is the most of the amount of the urine, the waste material or the waste form of the water will get absorbed and reabsorbed again. Absorbed and reabsorbed. And thereafter it is attached to the proximal convoluted tubule. That is called as proximal convoluted tubule. This is called proximal convoluted tubule, and this one is called DCT, that is distal convoluted tubules. So on that regard, here is the number of branches like this in which the blood gets supplied to the main vein or there is a number of branches by which this can be added. Now there is the waste material have to be moved throughout the urinations, so that impure water, that is the waste water, has to be removed out. This is the special structure of about that the nephron, and that is the most important function of the nephron is to filter out the amount of blood, that is the pure blood has to be supplied to the next part of the body again, and the rest of the blood, which is the remaining portion of the blood, from there is the blood has to be repelled again through the afferent arterioles, and from the afferent arterioles there is a remaining portion of the blood, that is the uric acid, urea, and the water that is in from the urine. They has to be traveled through the Henle's loop from the PCT, that is the proximal convoluted tubule, to the main body of through which there is a blood has to be there has to be a urine has to be moved out, and through which this urination formation takes place, or the urine formation takes place, which has to be accumulated by the means of uric acid, urea, and urine as well. There is the most toxic substances which has to be removed out. This is the one segment of the filtering unit that is called as a nephron. There is a numerous, that is thousands of the structure which has to be found in case of a kidney, which is act as a filtering unit. So this is the main structure of the filtering unit by which the blood has to be filtered out and the urination may take place, urine get formed. Now we'll have to move on to the excretion. Excretion in case of plant. Excretion in plants. What is excretion? You know very well, as in case of a human being, there is an excretory organ. The excretory organ has to remove out the waste and unused material throughout the body. So on that particular reason, there is another means by which the waste material has to be removed out by the plants too. Plant also may have some type of the toxic material or the unused material which has to be removed out. What are these actually? The toxic material and excretory material. There is, you know, the plant. The most important factor to reach up to the water and minerals from the root as well. Here is the minerals and water. Minerals and water has to be supplied from the bottom to the top or to the whole parts of the body by the very special organ called, by the very special structure which is called as xylem. So xylem carries the water and minerals to the whole parts of the body, and from the prepared food from the leaves which has to be traveled through the next structure called as phloem. So there is the transportation in case of a plant, but how these excretions take place? The excretions may also take place by the means of the special excretory organ. Now here is transportation of material in plants. Transportation of materials in plants. Transportation of material in plants. How these plants having supply of the particular suppose if there is a plant, so that have a special structure, that is xylem and phloem. One which can supply the water and minerals, from the roots in the form of roots here. The water and mineral get supplied to the whole parts of the body through those special structure. And the prepared food has to be supplied. The prepared food has to be supplied by the structure called phloem. So by these means, there is one is responsible for the supply of the nutrients and water, and the other one is responsible for supplying the food material. Here we can write, in that case, we can draw the structure. There is a number of structure. This is called as a phloem. Here is phloem, which can supplies. That is the structure of phloem. And meta xylem, which is outer side of the plant body. We know there is a cambium ring on which cambium ring, that is called cambium ring. Here is the structure called as xylem and phloem. Cross section by which xylem tissues the xylem tissues having vascular bundle through which they has to be supplied water and minerals to the whole parts of the body, whereas the phloem can having the phloem tissues in which there is a seed tubules. That is what this can known as seed tubules, through which the food material has to be supplied to the different parts of the body by which the seed tubules, and there is xylem fiber, phloem fiber on which they can be supplied. These are the different criteria by which there is a transportation takes place in the means of plant. Now there is a translocation. Translocation is what? The transportation of a food from the leaf to the different parts of the organ through the structural, very special structure, that is called as a translocation. Translocation means the supplying of the food material to the different parts of the plant, that is called translocation. What is the transpiration? Transpiration is the process by which the different form of a different loss of a very huge amount of water throughout the margin of the plant, that is called as a transpiration.